This episode is brought to you by Grow and Glow Academy. So this childcare service is very special because it teaches kids confidence, creativity through STEM-based learning. So take your little one to Grow and Glow Academy by going to growandglowphilly.com. Thanks. Hey guys, I hope you guys been tuning in. I know we've been having amazing shows. We've been getting your commentary and we appreciate it. But let me tell you how we upgraded. Moving forward, we have a lot of special guests. And the one coming up this week is Nakia Dillard. He is an amazing actor, producer, director, and he from our hometown. So make sure you guys tune in. See you.
Welcome to the Film Road Podcast, where indie filmmaking meets global media. I'm your boy Taz, the writer, and we got our lovely co-host Sierra.
Hey, happy Black History Month, Black people, or Melanin March, whatever you choose.
Guess what? This week, we got a special guest.
Yeah,
we got a guest. You heard her. You heard the horns go off. This episode 3, is called How Actors Get Really Seen. And our special guest is no other than Nakia Dillard.
Hey. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we in the house.
Welcome to the Film Road.
Thank you.
Nakia, man, you know, it's a pleasure for you to be able to sit down with us and spread the jewels and your gems to the world, man. You know, we wouldn't have picked no one other to open up, you know, our first episode of guests, you know what I mean, without you. So
thank you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yep. So I'm here. Y'all.
Yeah, man. So this episode, you know, this is how actors really get seen, man. And the things that you've done in Philadelphia and abroad, you know, means a lot. You know, starting off as an actor, starting off indie, going from indie to mainstream. And today we're going to share to our listeners. We got listeners from Philadelphia. We got listeners all over the United States, New York. Shout out to DMV. And we got global listeners, a lot of listeners from Germany,
nice.
Brazil, Canada.
That's awesome.
And we want to make sure this information gets out to everybody on how do actors really get seen, man.
Well, you know, right now we're in a beautiful space. We have the internet, we have social media, we have different things that can help you just like what we're doing, you know, creating opportunity, creating things.
So let me ask you this. How did you get started? Like this what we want to know. Like how, like what made you want to become an actor? Because ladies and gentlemen, you know, across the world, like Nakia has been in a lot of movies, a lot of TV series. I'm talking The Wire. Yeah, we're talking BMF. We're talking Law and Order. We're talking The Wonder Years. All right, keep going. You know,
I mean, it's gonna be a long show. You know what I'm saying?
but to get to that, we want to, you know, show the world how you done it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I started out, I took an acting class. I was really a shy child. I really, like, if somebody would have tapped me on my shoulder when I was younger and said, you know, you're going to be an actor, I wouldn't have believed them. Because one, I never seen an actor before. But I used to love the arts. I used to love drawing. I used to love watching TV, watching movies. And when I would watch them, I would imagine myself on the screen or on the stage. And I remember going to see The Wiz. Stephanie Mills was in it. It was at the
love Stephanie Mills.
Yes.
That's a good.
When I say she
that's
taught
your
us,
first. That's the first one.
first play I ever seen.
You went out the gate.
Yeah,
you went out
play.
the gate with the heavy hitters.
And I was like, wow, like, you know, what? I didn't know the how. Like I saw like, wow, I saw them on stage, but I didn't know how do you do that. So I was, and I love the Cosby Show too. You know, watching that, watching Theo. You know, I wanted to be one of Theo's friends. you know, and I saw myself on TV, but I just didn't know the how. So I took an acting class, and it just changed my life. And it was something that, you know, I asked my mother a few times, you know, because I was so quiet. She was just like, okay, if he asks me again, I'll look into it.
I love that.
And so took my first acting class. They gave me a monologue, and I never did a monologue before or anything like that. So I got there, and then I had to do it in front of people.
Interesting. Could you explain to the viewers and all our listeners what a monologue is?
So a monologue is one person's speech. Is whenever you watch a show and they talk for a few minutes, that's a monologue, where they're the only ones talking. So they gave me a monologue that I had to read and perform it in front of the audience. Before, it was just like this. It was like, but I never stood up in front of somebody before, and got up there and literally forgot all my
Do you
lines.
remember the monologue? Okay, you've got your own. Okay.
I was about to say, did they give you the script? Did they give you the script there and you had to read it off the script, or did they give you the script there and now or did they give it to you ahead of time? Like, what was the?
Yeah, they did give it to me ahead of time.
What was the monologue?
Man,
you don't even know from somewhere from
I can't even remember. Because when I got in the room, I forgot it
but
too.
You forgot your lines. How'd you forget your lines? Like, come on, man. Like, you're in there. This is the first time I'm about to get a big break.
Right.
Like, how'd you forget your line?
Nervous.
You just like
just nervous? Just nervous.
Did they give you a second chance? What ended up happening?
Well, it's the thing. Either it was a shortage of boys, or my mother was standing behind them flashing dollars. I don't know, but I got in.
Divine.
Yeah, the guy. It was meant to be. Yeah. However, yep, I got in there. So I got in there. And it literally changed my life, man. You know, just seeing other young children my age doing it, killing it. And it just built a fire in me to want to just continue and just be better.
Perfect. I have a question. Well, actually not usually, right? We have the beginning segment, which is the little known facts and, you know, different things to put little sparks in people's minds about how things go. And I want to talk to you about some of that, right? So when we talk about people getting discovered or how people get noticed, you would assume, or one would assume, that journey might be harder for Black actors compared to their white counterparts, right? And a lot of that has to do with time and space. Right? Like the spaces where people meet people. You have somebody like Charlize Theron who got discovered in a bank after she's arguing with somebody, right? You have somebody else like Matthew McConaughey who's meeting somebody at like a traditional dive bar, or even people who meet directors at bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, right? And as Black and brown folk, I think sometimes, depending on where the spaces are, what we have access to, that looks a little different. I know we know about the young lady Raquel Palmer, who did that big $2,000 ad for Tyler Perry, like, I'm your next leading lady. And at first he was like, nah, I'm not with that, right? But then later on, he actually gave her an audition, and now we see her on shows like Sisters or The Queen's Men. As being, a Black actor in the industry, is there anything special that you've done to get noticed, or has somebody done something that you've seen and you were like, you know what, that was such a good idea, specifically a brown person?
For me, I haven't done anything that was anything like that. I mean, I would just say it's just been God and just the relationships and people that I've met and know, and people that may have liked my work that reached out to me. Like the first time I met Tez, he reached out, he liked my work. And, so it's kind of been in that journey, in that way.
Your first big break though, like your first, before you had the credibility or the body of work for people to say, oh, I like his work. What did you do? Or you just showed up and auditioned and just hustled?
Showed up, I did the job. I came in with just an energy that they needed, and I was just, doing what I thought the character needed. And a lot of times you may just walk in the room and you might be what they're looking for.
So ask your question. So at this particular time that you're talking about, were you able to memorize now? Like, did you did that type of for lack of better terms, what I want to use, did you come up with some type of structure or some type of format for you to memorize, these particular lines at this time? Like,
well, yeah, now,
how'd you get better?
Class, just taking class and just having to, the assignments and different things that you
Okay.
have in class, you have to memorize, you have to do that. So if it wasn't for class, it kind of taught me a discipline of doing that. And
so this is a perfect segue for our Drop Gems segment of the show. And we would like to drop gems, on the world, everybody that's listening and watching, about how do actors really get seen? Like, it's a such thing as sides.
Yeah.
Could you explain what sides are?
So sides are a part of the script where it's part of the scene that we can, a lot of times it's the height of the show to kind of see where you can kind of go as far as your emotional range. So, but again, it's about your interpretation of how you see the character. Because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll give you the script. They'll give you just the sides. You won't even see the full script. So when you see that, it's a little brief description of how the character is. But other than that, you have to go on how you feel.
And do your thing.
And
so
just do your thing.
Does this determine whether or not you're going to get that part?
You don't know. You just go in there, now you send off a self-tape and you just kind of give it a guy.
Explain to the, to people what a self-tape is.
So a self-tape is a video that you record your audition. So it's a video of your audition.
So wait a minute. So you're telling me that if once I get a side, I could take the piece of paper, or if it's on my phone, and I can put a camera in front of me and record myself doing the actual monologue or scene? Is that what a self-tape is?
That's basically what it is.
Okay.
But you have to get the audition. So once you get the audition, then you get the sides, and then they're waiting to see what you can do with that.
So in order for me to get casted or considered, I would first have to memorize my scene, the side.
Right.
Then I would have to do a self-tape.
Yep.
So then I would have to submit it to the casting director or someone, right?
Yep.
To see if I'm able to get the role and be seen.
I have a question, and this is kind of based on this. I saw that you said that you had continuously auditioned for The Wire before you got it. You auditioned previous seasons, but you didn't get it into the third.
Wow.
So when you think about things like that, right, especially when you're putting on these self-tapes and all these other things, right, are you adjusting these things every single time? Are you getting the feedback that you need to properly adjust every single time?
Nope.
How do you, matter of fact, what mindset, right, were you in where you were like, I know I belong on this show. They said no to me twice, 2 seasons in a row, but I know I belong on this show. How do you know when to keep going? How did you know what to tweak? What was your process, your strategy onto how you got on the show?
Well, so The Wire was my first SAG job, which is the Screen Actors Guild. So I auditioned, I would say a good 7 or 8 times, but see, and that was in person.
Okay.
So that was a different time. So
no self-tape?
That wasn't self-tape. That was in person.
Okay.
So each time I had to drive to Baltimore and go in the room, audition. But see, when you get a call, when they call you back, that means that they like you. They just may not have a role for you. They're trying to figure out where to place you.
Fit. Okay.
So a lot of times when you get a call back, they're trying to place you. They're trying to figure it out. But it's just a matter of your determination. And again, I could have not have booked, but they still would know who I am because I showed up again. and I keep showing up.
What was the vibe like when you showed up again? Were they like, "Hi, Mr. Dillard, so good to see you again," or were they like, "Why does he look familiar to me? Like, what is going on? Like, what was the vibe?"
No, the vibe is always cool, because see, each time you go to audition. Now, if I was crashing auditions, it'd be something different. But each time I had an appointment.
So what's crashing? Just showing up.
You just show up like, "Hey, y'all got an audition?"
You just gonna bust in. Give me the role, huh?
Listen, if it was like American Idol, I would love that. I love a blooper. I love when people show up to American Idol and can't sing. Don't get me wrong, they never going to be on the show, but it's entertaining to me in the process. And I feel like if I had to look at a million different actors all day, I would appreciate a little bit of, I don't know, ridiculousness. But I'm sure as somebody with many roles, right? Jumping from one hat, from the actor hat to the director hat, right? Where things like time and money, right, are important. You probably don't want the same amount of shenanigans.
So, I mean, interesting, right? The gem that you're actually giving to everyone is, for one, learn how to learn your role or your scene, which is, your sides. Lock your sides in, learn that.
Yeah.
I know you said, that was your first union project.
Yeah.
So would you say, I know we spoke, me and Sierra spoke previously on one of our episodes about union and non-union SAG. How important is that to have that locked in, like dealing with contracts from even through brown and black? What do you want them, like giving them some jewels to help them advance and being seen? That's
So the thing with non-union and union, it just depends on the contract of being a union actor. So because non-union, basically you're not in the union, so the pay scales are different. So whereas with the union, it's a lot of perks that comes with that. But what I would tell actors and people that are interested in that, definitely do your homework, because it's not for everybody. Some people used to tell me, "Oh, you're working all the time because you're a union actor." The union has nothing to do with me booking.
Right. It's not promoting you.
Yeah, it's not
pushing you
they
further.
protect you. They protect you to make sure that you're that you get everything you need once you sign up and once you do book the job. So with non-union, it kind of like anything kind of goes in a way.
Right.
But yeah, I would just say take your time. Like, if you're trying to become union, do all your research on it, because again, you could become union and never work again.
Facts. I have a question too. I've read somewhere where you were talking about one of the good things about acting is that it kind of forced you to read. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And I wanted and part of forcing you to read made you put yourself in, people's life experiences that you would never actually experience on your own. And you could do it for a moment and you could hop in and hop out.
Right.
My question though is, one, what are you currently reading? And two, is there anything that you read that you felt like, okay, I like this story, but I wonder if it would have went here? And has that influenced, when it comes to writing or directing or some of the choices that you made based on some of the books you read?
That's a good question. The current book that I'm reading right now is called Act As If. And that's more of like a mental, like self-help kind of mental, your mentality, because your mentality is the most important thing, especially in the arts, because if your mentality, if it's not strong, you'll kind of like fall for anything. You'll get that imposter syndrome and think that you're not enough or whatever it is. So I read a lot of those type books. I've read a lot of comic books and different things like that, but like to stretch your imagination, seeing different things that that is not linear, like right on the page like that. So I use my imagination more than I would say.
So did that help you with when it comes to, you know, like from the linear side, did it help you like far as when scripts are presented, like the way that you digest, you know, those words, like, you know, into your memory. And I'm asking you that because, come on, man, like, yo, man, you've been on The Wire, like, that's crazy, legendary, classic, Stringer Bell. You've been on The Wire, right?
And I coached him.
Well, wait a minute. Hold up.
He say he coached. Give him the props. He coached.
Hold up. Listen, let's go there then. Let's go there. This man, he's coached Idris Elba, correct?
Yep. We did.
Stringer Bell.
Yep.
He was his dialect coach on Concrete Cowboy. Am I correct or am I wrong?
Yep.
So he pushed me there. I was waiting to get there, but he pushed me there. So we're gonna go there. He's extraordinary. He was a dialect coach for Idris Elba, and that's amazing because Idris is he a British actor or UK actor?
Yep.
And
British.
It doesn't sound like a lot of British actors, you know, are able to come on and kill roles in the US. What's his name?
Damson.
Damson. Yep, from Snowfall. I didn't know. I'm like, yo,
but this is the thing though, and I'm gonna bring it here too. So it's not just them getting the American accent right.
Mm-hmm.
That particular story is a Philly accent, and everybody knows Philly people have a very specific accent. Nothing pissed me off more than when people portray people in Philadelphia and that accent is off. I remember watching Creed, and I'm sorry, y'all. I hate to bring the subject. I'm bringing it back. I promise. I remember watching Creed, and I got very irritated when Tessa Thompson said, anybody and anything can be a John. And she looked at Michael B. Jordan and said, you could be a John. And I'm like, I'm sorry. In traditional Philly language, men are not Johns unless they Johns. And I'm okay with that. Shout out to my dolls. But other than that, like, why are you saying that? And why didn't anybody correct her? That pissed me off. Not to mention that they were like the accents were not there. And Tessa, let me tell you something, girlfriend. Love you. Came to the party at Kung Fu Necktie. Dance with you, girl. You could dance, you all that. Why didn't you ask us? Why didn't you ask us? You was in a circle full of a whole bunch of girls, right? We could have got that down for you. Now bringing it back to what you had to say for training Idris. How hard was it for him to get, you know, the nuances of not just an American accent, but a Philly accent? And how did you explain it to him? Or just, you know, in a very specific way? Because, you know, Black people in Philly and white people in Philly got two different accents, and girls in Philly and guys in Philly also have two different accents.
Right. I mean, you know, we talked a lot, and you know, it was certain things that was in the script that I would tell him, like, nah, they wouldn't say it like that. He was like, oh, let me get the writer over here and say, you know, so he was very he wanted to learn, you know, like he learned very fast, and he was cooperative about it. You know, he wanted to hear my input, you know, because he was like, I want this to be right, you know. So the fact that he was very intentional on knowing and practicing, you know, I used to record stuff for him. I would, you know, just try to, so he can kind of get an idea of the flow. And, you know, we would just talk, you know, and he would just regurgitate that. And one time was
he good? Like, once he gave it to you, like when he regurgitated it and got it locked down, were you surprised how fast he picked up on it? Like, what was your...
Yeah, he picks up really fast. So this one day, because it's called the comms, you have the headphones on. And one day he was doing it, and I'm looking at the script, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not Idris around it. So I had to go around and peek at him and be like, wow, okay, man. You know, because he was
That's
rocking.
pretty dope, man, to be, like I said, this is how actors really get seen. Like, to go from there, you've worked so hard that you were able to become Idris Elba dialect coach on set on a major movie that was nominated. What was your experience like on Black Lightning when Nafisa Williams, and also what was your experience on the Wonder Years as Fred Savage was the original, was he Kevin on the original Wonder Years back in the day,
right?
And then he went and became an executive producer and did the urban version of Wonder Years.
Right.
Break all that down. Come on, man. Like, let the people know.
I love both. Let me tell you that. I really did. I love both. I thought they were. It's so crazy how they're so different just by changing the race. It's so wild how like the essence is there, but it is very different. It's a very different show in the best way.
Yeah, I was excited when I got the news that I booked the Wonder Years, and it's crazy because I did the audition on a Sunday and got the job on a Thursday.
Hold up for 1 minute. Hold up. I gotta stop you, right? People out there, if y'all don't know what the Wonder Years is, like, please Google it. The original one that came out in the 80s, then the second version came out in 2021, something like that.
20.
Come on, man. Give Nakia a round of applause, man, for being on the Wonder Years. That's major, man. Continue,
Thank you
brother.
so much, man. Yeah. And the first day on set, Fred Savage came over to me and was like, "Oh man, we loved your audition, man. You had us laughing." And I'm like, "Wow, this is Fred Savage." And he directed all my episodes.
Wow. Get out of here.
Yep.
Wow. I never would have expected that.
Yep, each one.
Were there any I feel like because, because the newer one is Black, right? The thing that made it the most different to me is when they had episodes that specifically targeted Black issues, right? And I would think sometimes that working with or telling Black stories, right? But then you have a white writer or a white producer or a white director, right? Especially when you're trying to get certain things, right, like the Martin Luther King assassination or certain things like I know the episode where they had the Black boys play the white boys in the baseball, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Or even when you're trying to get the essence or the feeling of like something, especially in a period piece.
Yeah.
Right. How, when you have two different people and two different races in that situation and someone gives you the space to be an expert, you know what I mean? Like you as a Black man, how a Black man will respond to said racial issue versus what he is seeing as a director, right? Is it one of those things where he's like, I trust you to know what it is and I trust that it's right? Or is it one of those things where he's like, all right, do it like this, do it like that? Like what role did he play in that, in those decisions? Or what role did you play in those decisions? And was there ever a time when those two things kind of like conflicted, like creative differences?
Well, I would say like, the writers that they had on the show were amazing. And also the showrunner, the actual producer of the show was, it was a lot of Blacks on the show, behind the scenes as well as, so it was good because again, it just showed that, with Fred Savage trusting, our version of the story, and he was there to direct it, and he was there to kind of help out.
I was about to say, I figured to me, it had to be a situation like that because it translated. Like I watched it and it felt very Black in a good way, right? Like it just felt very Black.
Let me ask you a question. What did you like about both of them? Like the original and Wonder Years and the remake? The
original Wonder Years, what I really loved was the love relationship between the main character and Winnie.
Oh yeah.
I used to think that I used to just everybody loved Winnie, but I also loved how like, and I guess this is similar in the old one and the new one, but just how awkward the main character was, right? Yeah, he was like awkward in himself.
The glasses. Remember his to ride the bike?
Yeah.
You remember him?
I remember him. I don't remember his name. But but just how awkward the character was. but it was like awkward in almost like a pure sense, and like something that it seemed like he loathed about himself, but something that everybody else seemed to appreciate about him. And I think those are the things that I liked most about like both shows. But I feel like with the newer one, I kind of just relate more. Clearly, you know what I mean? I'm a brown girl, and I liked how the love interest in this one is like sassy and forward, where Winnie was more like sweet and like a little airy in a way, you know. And that's not the type of childhood that I related to.
So
surprise.
See, this is a perfect segue into the fun portion of the actual show, which is recasting. And I think we should lead with that, because who would you recast for the original Wonder Years and the remake? Like, who would be Fred? Like, who would you think? How would you, like, who would be Winnie? Would it be Tessa Thompson? Would it be Nafisa Williams? Like, who would be Winnie?
That's a good
Who would be
question,
Fred?
man.
Who you think? Do you like Childish Gambino? Who you like? Who you like?
Well, these people are all too old.
You talking about as a child?
I mean, like
actor?
we recasting, we're remaking it. Like,
so then we would have to go with people that were young now. Like,
okay, so
like if we went with people who were young when I was young, then the main character is, if we were doing the black version, for me would be Megan Good. Megan Good was like the dopest like girl teen crush at her time, or Kyla Pratt, dopest like teen girl. You know what I'm saying? If we had to pick somebody now, I don't.
What about Jason Weaver?
Yeah, Jason Weaver. Jason Weaver never gave nerdy though.
He played Michael Jackson.
Remember? Again, he never played nerdy. Yeah. Michael Jackson is not nerdy.
Wait, so what you gonna do? You gonna go to Jalil? What's it? Urkel? What is it?
Jalil White.
Jalil White? No.
Jalil White. He's like slapstick. Slapstick nerd to me. For me, if I had to go with like a nerd. I'm just
heard what you said, slapstick nerd.
I'm just saying, because he had the whole "did I do that?" and granted,
did I do that?
Respect to that man and what it is that he did, but that's not what the Wonder Years gave. Like the Wonder Years gave, you know what? You know what? You know the shout out to Mara Brock Akil, but the project that she just did, and the name of it is slipping my mind, but the young girl and the guy in that were both awkward, and they were both phenomenal, and I could put them in both roles. But what I actually want to know, right? And this one I think might be cooler, and I want to ask you this specifically, because you said that one of the things one of the shows that really inspired you as an actor was The Cosby Show, and how much you love Theo. I want you to recast that. Like,
that's
because
major right there.
Like
The Cosby Show?
Yeah, because because Theo was one of those characters that was like both. He was nerdy and cool. He was both. So I'm like, who would you like? You having the essence of Theo, like who would you recast as Theo? Maybe Denise. You don't have to do every character, but like.
Wow. Let me see. Let me see. See, it has to be celebrity.
No, it could be people that we don't know. We want people to discover people too.
All right. Well, when I was younger, it was a guy at Freedom Theater named William Love.
Oh, he sound like a Theo.
Shout out to William Love.
He sound like a Theo.
I could see him playing Theo when we were younger. Yeah. And then Cockroach, a good friend of mine. His name is Jeffrey Kusar.
Yes.
He could definitely play that. And for Bill, probably it's a Philly actor here named Johnny Hobbs.
Loved it.
Wow.
Make sure y'all go check out these folks, by the way.
This is amazing.
It's a lot of talent here, y'all. You know, people that has paved the way, that are still doing it. They're in theater. They're doing different indie films. And they don't get a lot of recognition like a celebrity would, you know, but we could pretty much do whatever. You know, we are some talented folk here.
And also you've been contributing a lot to that with, you know, Aikan Acts acting school. You have gotten a lot of great actors booked from here in Philadelphia and from all over Atlanta, everywhere, from young to old. Could you explain about, you know, some of the individuals that you got booked? You know, I met a lot of your students too. So
yeah. So yeah, I had a lot of students on Tez's project, but yeah, it's truly been a blessing. So I started in 2009 with the acting school. And honestly, it wasn't something that I was like, oh man, you know, once I start acting, I'm gonna start a school. But it was a kind of a labor of love in a way, because the school that I went to was closing down. So it wasn't anywhere for our youth or our dreamers to go. So I wanted to be that space for them, like a safe space. And what I do, what a lot of other schools may not do, I bring in working actors. I bring in people that are in the industry so that they get a chance to kind of network and be around these people.
Okay.
So all of my teachers are all working. I bring in casting directors. I bring in different actors. Like I've had a few actors from The Wire speak to my youth. You know, I had Dana Dane come through and speak to the youth.
Yes.
He's a film director now. I had different agents, few of my agents, you know, I bring them in.
Let me ask you this, Nakia. So in order for an actor, up and coming actor, to be seen, they got to do the work. They should at least start with going to some sort of acting school, correct?
Right, definitely.
To get the acting chops up.
Right.
If they want to be seen by these great casting directors that may give them opportunity to be in front of a movie studio or a producer.
They want to know that you're investing in yourself. You know,
say that again to the world. Keep that.
They want to know that you're investing in yourself. You know, they want to know that, you know, you're training, that that's why they look at your resume. That's why they look at all of that. You know, it's not about, oh, I just can wake up and just do this. You know,
tell me I can't just do my little skit on YouTube, but I can't do my skit on Instagram and nobody gonna discover how famous and wonderful I should be?
I mean, if
anything,
if the right eyes fall on it, but might take a minute.
So I know that you have, or that you guys had a movie on Tubi called Swing.
Swing, yep.
Right? Are some of your students in that? And also, first of all, I love the concept of the 1940s Philly situation. That was very fire. Make sure y'all go look at that on Tubi, by the way. If you have, you should have Tubi. It's free.
Right.
But yeah, were any of your students cast in that? And when you're in the school, or when you're teaching in the school, has there ever been a time where you've seen a talent and you were like, you know what? I'm working on this project and I feel like I have a role in mind for said person.
All the time. I've pulled up so many actors in that way. Like one time I had a good friend of mine. Oh, let me give a shout out to Atif Lanier. He's the writer, director of Mike Pender. Atif Lanier and Mike Pender for Swing.
Yes.
Great team. You know, they just very creative. But I did have a few students on Swing, and I had a director come in and speak to my class. His name is Antoine Allen, and we were just having a Zoom, and I had this young girl in my class. She had to have been eight or nine at the time. Her name is Rajay Jones.
That sounds familiar.
She's actually I'm gonna tell you this. She's in this film called Driving Force, and it's on Tubi. It's on. It was on Lifetime. It was on a couple different.
That's what
networks.
It is. Lifetime. I'm like, first of all, I'm
Wait
a Lifetime
minute. She's
junkie.
8 or 9, and she was booked on Lifetime.
Yeah. So I was
through your acting school.
I was in the film.
Oh man, congrats on that.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So that's why I say, like, you never know who's watching, and you never know when the opportunities are.
She's 8 or 9 and she's been seen, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So through the school, that's why I bring in working actors, people that are in the industry. So I had him speaking to the class, and he not only chose one young lady, he chose a 16-year-old too that was on the Zoom. So she just kept asking questions, and he was like, Dang, I have a role that we need to fill for the little girl in the film.
I love that.
And he was like, does she have a reel? And just so happened she had a reel.
I love it.
So I sent it off to him, and I was like, yeah, she's great. Sent her headshot off, and she ended up getting cast. And then they needed somebody to play my daughter, which was her name is Taylor Deal. And she's in college now. And I sent her picture, and he was like, yeah, I think she'll be great. And they went out there, and then we shot in Atlanta. That was the other part. We didn't shoot in Philly. So they got a chance to travel, go out of Philly, see a whole nother market, and they did their thing.
That's why I gotta sign up for the show, because how else am I gonna, become a famous actor and do all the things that I want to do?
I was waiting for you to say something.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you know she was an actor? She's an actor.
Yeah.
This is my thing. This is what I'm gonna say.
A to-be regular.
I was about to say,
she wants to be a to-be regular.
To be regular, and I want to have somewhere between 2 and 10 lines.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you can really make, you know what I mean? You can make a career like that.
So check this out then. Let me expound on something. Are you familiar with the vertical dramas and the micro dramas now? Micro series?
Say that again. Am I familiar with? I got the vertical drama, but
and micro drama.
Oh, micro dramas.
That's being shot on your phone, and that's being shot for like 1 to 5 minutes per episode now.
Yes, but you know what though? That really reminds me of the misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. How Issa Rae started.
That's how she started.
Yes. I was the biggest fan of that.
Oh, excuse me.
Like the biggest fan of that. Especially with her rapping in the mirror.
But guess what they're talking about? and that's the thing. I'm sure you're probably familiar with it. They're saying listen, they making $8 billion right now a year. Started back from China, because it started back in 2019 with Quibi, but it didn't do well. They didn't do the proper marketing. But now they're saying by 2023, they said it's going to be 80 billion micro dramas. Right now, Fox just ordered 200 micro drama productions, right? Kim Kardashian right now is producing micro dramas. Tay Diggs is producing a love story micro dramas. And we need Sierra in a new micro drama.
Listen, I can get famous just like Nick.
Make it happen.
Because Neil Carr got one out. I don't know if you saw it.
Neil got one?
No record.
That's dope. They should get that guy. You know the guy, Nick Darnell?
No.
Y'all don't know Nick Darnell?
No, now we know what's going on.
Nick Darnell is the guy that is like the Instagram sensation as the Grinch.
Oh, you talking about
the black man.
Did he get 900 million? Is that him?
Yeah, like he's the guy the guy who does the Grinch. The one that they're saying needs to replace Jim Carrey. Oh, wow. Y'all really know? Y'all really have not seen this?
I've not seen it.
Oh my God. And everybody is doing the line. They're like, what's up, twin? And like doing like the whole thing. And he's so good. Like he's so good. He got so many looks right now. So I could imagine. But I'm saying that to say like micro dramas, yes, but just like the whole digital world. And I feel like let me separate myself from y'all for a little bit. I feel like that I, as a millennial, right? I'm in the middle. So I understand when you had to work hard to get something versus just putting something up on YouTube and getting instant gratification. And like, I'm in the middle. So because I'm in the middle, it makes me think of like people like Nick Darnell who could blow up on Instagram, or like an Issa Rae who's like, okay, YouTube still put in the work. I'm not saying that these people did not put in the work, but I'm just saying that it seems to me that a lot of times you have to go beyond relationships. You know what I'm saying? Like definitely form the relationships, but as Black and brown people, it's just so much harder to like have the opportunity to do so unless you have somebody like a Nakia Dillard who has a school who is going above and beyond by introducing you to other people in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of other schools and a lot of other opportunities don't do it. And so much of it is that you have to go out and get it on your own. I'm saying that to say, just to bring it back to the overall topic, or even my thought about you being here, is how much time do you spend talking to your students about not just talent, but confidence. To have an 8-year-old girl be able to be booked on Lifetime, right, with other actors who have been in the game for however, and for the person to notice her from her asking so many questions means to me that this is a confident 8-year-old. How much time do you spend in your classes building that confidence versus like the actual technical skill?
Each class we have, we deal with that, you know, from the adults to the children to the teens, you know, because again, it's about who you are, knowing who you are, what you want and will do, you know, because that's the other part. And I have to talk to the students about like overdoing things, you know, because they like, oh, if I don't do this, I might not work again or whatever. But you know, if it's meant for you, you're going to work. You're going to. So you don't have to do everything. You know, if it's something that you're not comfortable with, you don't. If you feel like you can't sleep at night because you did this role, you know, none of that matters. You know, you have people doing drugs, drinking, doing all types of stuff to kind of get them escape from what they did. You know, and it's not that deep. My whole thing is, you know, if it's something that you want to do and you're comfortable, you know, go ahead and do it, you know, but, and unless that's something that you want to do, you know, you have that liberty too. But if, you know, long as you can sleep at night,
right,
with your choices,
right,
you know, but, yeah, so we do talk a lot about that, you know. We do talk
therapy
a
for
lot about
actors
that.
trying to make it happen. Maybe that's what I'll train. I'm changing careers. I'm gonna be an actor therapist.
Hey yo. So basically, you, in order to be seen, basically telling actors and inspiring actors all around the world, in order to really be seen, you have to put the work in. It starts with putting the work in. If you want to be seen, if you want to be like a Ben Affleck, a Matthew McConaughey, a Sigourney Weaver, a Felicia Rashad,
Listen, we gotta take him here. A Denzel Washington. You know what I'm saying? A Viola Davis.
A Viola Davis.
Denzel still takes classes.
Whitaker.
You see what I'm saying?
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle.
If you want to be these type of great actors, what are we missing? You know what else I like? I
ain't know. I was just being smart.
Right.
But you know what though? Also, yes. But also, I think one of the things that we learned today from Nakia, and we could tell by a lot of his answers, is that even though being an actor is a creative job, it's also a very serious job.
Right.
Right. And I think, you know, I make a lot of jokes all the time, and I talk about my 2 lines versus my 10 lines and being the comedic relief. Right.
Let me ask you this.
But I feel like, you know, it is a serious job. It's creative, but it is a serious job.
Like when you were preparing for your role, right?
Which one?
The one you just did. Remember
Which
you
one
and
did I
Tubi?
do? When I played the little sister.
You played the little sister.
What's the name of it?
Yeah, it was called Renabay.
Oh,
you was
okay.
Yeah, I was.
So,
I was the little sister. Again, another comic relief.
Yeah.
I had 2 lines.
So when you was on Renabay, right?
Yes.
Blocking, like for those that don't know what blocking mean, I'll let Nakia explain it, but I'll explain it. When you're getting prepared to get in that mind frame to remember your lines, what did you do to get ready to remember your lines when it was time for the camera to be on you?
Well, firstly, I think I only had 2 or 3 lines. That's one.
What was your mind?
And second of all, you know, I went to school. You know, I was a journalism major, a poli-sci minor. It's really important for me. Okay, it's really important for me to like really remember lines or the essence of the line. You know what I'm saying? And the get the mental, practice it in my head first, and also just, you know, I think the difference between me doing something like that or somebody doing like a longer monologue, again, just the seriousness of it, is like when I was playing the older sister from Philly, I'm playing myself. So I'm like, how would I say this line to my sister? But I think that if it were something a little bit, you know what I mean, something that was out of my wheelhouse, right? Then I would, if I had to prepare for that, I probably would stress everybody in my house out because I'd be like, no, you're going to run these lines with me. You're going to run these lines with me. You're going to run these lines with me. I think I took an acting class when I was in school one time, and we had to do this exercise, and it was annoying as hell, I learned something from it. And the exercise was that we had to repeat the same line 50 times back and forth to each other with different feelings. Right. So if the line was like, how are you today? Then you would respond to me, how are you today? And it would be no more lines. It would just be like, how are you today? How are you today? And we started off and I'd be like, what the fuck? We got to do this 100 times. But they would be like, no, each time you have to do it with a different feeling or a different accent or a different, you know what I mean? So that you understood that there were a plethora of ways that you can deliver something and a plethora of ways for you to deliver feelings. So if I changed my feeling and what it is that I said, even though you were repeating it back to me, you adjusted your feeling based on what I said. So now we both are in the moment rather than just living in our heads inside of the lines. Again, which is why I was like, a big part of what you were saying and also what you reiterated is just like how serious you take that and how that translates. But I know we wrapping it up.
So, I mean, like, that was amazing. That was amazing feedback. And we hope that all our global viewers and listeners took a lot from that. But we got a lot coming in. Like, we coming to guest after guest. And we thank you very much, Nakia Dillard, the great Nakia Dillard, for coming on our show and dropping gems to the world, you know. And
my question, so we could close out properly, right, is please tell the people where they can sign up for your school.
Please.
Tell the folks where they can find you on social media and where they can sign up for your school, and you know what I mean, so they can make do or make, you know.
So they can be seen. This is how actors really get seen.
So it's online. So the classes, so you can actually be anywhere
in the world
on this earth and take the class. So it's AIKANACTS.org. And that's my name backwards if y'all forget. So it's Nakia
backwards.
And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram and things like that, Nakia Dillard or Aikan Acts on Instagram.
And y'all heard what he said, you know, listening again. And again, we thank all our global listeners and viewers. And guess what? And that's a wrap. Same feel, new reel.
That's right. It's a wrap, y'all. Yeah. Hey guys, it's Nakia Dillard, and you're watching the Film Reel Podcast.
This segment of the Film Reel is brought to you by Aikan Acts. If you want to learn remotely, globally, around the world, man, tap into Aikan Acts. That's right, AIKANACTS.org, Aikan Acts, and get with the co-founder, Nakia Dillard.